Welcome everyone, this is Kerjims channel. Now we are back to our new episodes of two similarity champions and comparison. Featured by Wildrift, League of Legend versus the Mobile Legend Bang Bang. But before that, please like and subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the bell running us so you will be notified to our next episode video. Let's do it! Now we are talking about Karina, the combo tricks and guide. Karina passive and also skill 1, skill 2 and the special skill and also the build. Okay. Her passive states that after she hits a target twice continuously, she deals 2 damage in their hits after 2 stacks. Skill 1, exclusiveness. In her skill 1, she enters exclusiveness and becomes immune to all basic attack for 3 seconds. She also speed up by 35%. Her next basic attack will cast off exclusive state and deal extra magic damage and slow down the target by 60%. Use this skill for ambush and skill set to increase her moves and makes immune from basic attack. Skill to dance of death. Okay, the dance of death. In her skill 2, Karina enters exclusive state to become immune to basic attack for 3 seconds. In her skill of 2, Karina bandages his double sword and deal magic damage to surrounding enemies. Skill assist will be reduced the skills scored down by 60%. Use the skill step attack and guns. The slowing effect helps her to finish quicker. And now we are still skill 3, Shadow Transition. Association. In her skill 2, Karina rushes to a target and deals massive magic damage. Kills immediately receive its cooldown and assist reduce its cooldown by 80%. Use the skill to stealth and ambush and team fights of secure kills and massive damage. Configuration of Karina. This is build emblem configuration, battlefield skill upgrading death. So let's begin with the builds. Recommended builds for damage of Karina. Have minimized her weaknesses to durability by 1 or more defense item used against cooldown and curtain fights only. She is generally strong against MM and Mitch, who very squishy and not. She is generally weak against heroes who have heavy cooldown skill and ganks. And that's all for the Karina, man. How to use Karina, tips and tricks. Perfect combo, guys.
Katarina's item builds are very flexible, so you should constantly be adapting and changing your builds according to the situation. First, let's start off with the starting item. My personal favorite is Longsword 3 pots. AD is a very good stat on her early because of her AD scalings on her abilities and her auto attacks. It's also very gold efficient since it's built into Gunblade as well. Goron Shield and Dark Seal are both pretty good options too. Buy D-Shield for a safer laning phase, and buy Dark Seal if you want a mix of damage and sustain. Out of the three, I would advise you to learn how to use the Longsword Star. The AD will help you capitalize on opportunities where you can go for trades or even get kills in game. Now, if you really want to be gold efficient, you can actually replace the 3 pots you would get from Longsword and Dark Seal to a refillable potion. You do have a little bit less sustain, but you do save some gold in the long run. Now we're going to talk about the core items. The core items are pretty much Gunblade and Tier 2 boots. Gunblade is a very strong item, and it's pretty much made for Cat. It gives you AP, AD, an active slow, and even healing, so you're able to sustain in fights. Your goal is to pretty much build this as soon as possible because it gives you a huge power spike early to mid game. Now your build path towards Gunblade is actually pretty important. I usually go 2 longswords into the revolver, then finish up the cutlass. 2 longswords is good to maintain the adaptive AD you get from the runes, so you can take advantage of how well Katarina uses the AD early. And then I start building into the revolver. I personally prefer revolver over finishing up the cutlass, because cutlass is pretty pricey for the stats it gives. The active slow is nice to potentially take advantage of immobile champions in lane, but it doesn't give you as much damage as revolver. Remember that the build path leading up to Gunblade is always going to change, depending on how much gold you back with. Now let's talk about boots. Sorcerer's Shoes is probably your best option, purely because of the Magic Pen. Magic Pen is such a good stat on Cat that it's just really hard to pass up. Merc Treads is also good against heavy CC comps, and it synergizes really well with the Tenacity rune in the Precision tree. Remember, you can start building your boots as you're building your Gunblade. Finishing your boots early is actually a pretty good option against certain matchups. For example, if you struggle against Rise, you can build Merc Treads to survive the early laning, and the Tenacity will help you against the Snare. The movement speed will also help you against skill shot champions, like Lux and Syndra. Just understand that you'll be delaying your Gunblade and you won't be having a lot of damage early. Now I'm quickly gonna go over 2 items that you can build early on against hard matchups. Seeker's Armguard is good against hard AD matchups, and Hexdrinker is really good against hard AP matchups. You're mainly only going these items just to survive laning phase, so I wouldn't recommend you do this all the time. But if you know the matchup's gonna be hard, and you want a bit more lane control, these are your 2 defensive options early. Now I'm going to start going into the build after Gunblade. From this point, you want to be able to improvise your build. Katarina is super flexible when it comes to her item builds, so you want to make sure you're able to take full advantage of it. So I'm going to be going through the viable options you can build after Gunblade, so you'll have a better understanding of how to complete the build. Morella Namicon is usually my go-to after Gunblade. It gives all-around great stats like AP, health, and especially the Magic Pen. You really can't go wrong with it. You can even leave the Oblivion Orb as is if you're trying to prioritize another item, because you're mainly getting it for the Magic Pen. If you're going Conquer, go Death Dance. Gunblade and Death Dance do stack, and it's the best way to abuse the healing you get from Conquer. It's not a high damage item, and the heal depends on how much damage you deal. So I would recommend building more damage after this item if possible. Zanya's is a great item on Cat. You're mainly getting it for the stasis. The stasis is great for getting aggressive, so it allows you to stay safe while jumping into fights. It also gives armor as well, so it's great against heavy AD comps. It's a little bit lacking on the AP, so don't expect to deal a lot of damage with it. Void Staff is a super important item. I can't stress how important Magic Pen is on Katarina. Once the enemy starts to build a lot of MR, this item is essential to dealing damage. Constantly keep an eye out on the enemy team's builds, and make sure you get this item if needed. Banshee Veil is a great item if you need magic resist. The passive is a great addition to it as well. It'll make it so that it's hard for the enemies to engage on you, so it's great against heavy pick comps and AP assassins. Rabadon's Death Cap is the best item if you want a lot of AP. It scales off of the AP that you already have, so it's a great item to buy late game. It is a very expensive item, so building it early might be a little difficult. It's good early only if you know you're going to have a lot of gold to finish it, or else it's heavily going to stunt your build. I would say it's viable to build it early and late, as long as you know you're going to have the gold to finish the item as soon as possible. But I would highly recommend building it towards the late game in order to get the most out of it. Now there's a lot of other items Katarina can go, and I'll put them on the screen for you right now. I'm not going to be explaining these items, but I just want you to know that these items do have potential as well. Now I'm going to be closing off the video with some last minute tips. Remember that your build can change depending on the gold you back with. So if I end up backing with a lot of gold, and I'm able to buy a death cap straight up, I'll do it. You're going to have to change the build up accordingly, but remember that at that point, you're playing more around your build rather than the enemies. When playing Katarina, you want to make sure you prioritize your damage items. Katarina is an AP first assassin, so you have to build like one. But depending on the game, if the enemy comp is hard to deal with, or someone on the enemy team is just really fed, then you're going to need to build the defensive items to counteract. So build damage items when you can, and build defensive items when you need to. Lastly, Katarina is very flexible when it comes to item builds. You can basically build whatever you want, and it might work. So try out all the different items and see what you like, and have fun with it, because that's one of the beauties of playing Katarina. Well, that's it for the video. I'm going to be answering more item questions down below, so throw a question in the comment section and I'll answer it for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this really helped you out. Remember to have fun, play smart, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.